Earlier, last week or so, Matthew Knowles announced that he has breast cancer. Fred, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Tom. Every day is one day at a time, and this morning I feel great. I'm extremely blessed. We were talking a minute earlier that I found this so incredibly early, and that is the importance of early diagnosis and prevention. So I'm really blessed, man. I'm really blessed.
Being very observant, Mr. Knowles, was part of your cure, the process of detecting early. You had told people that it was just a drop of blood on your T-shirt, and your wife said on the bed linens that indicated that there might be something, and you went to the doctor and asked, right?
Well, I'm one of those men that is not embarrassed or afraid to go to the doctor. And so, yes, I went immediately to the doctor. It was 3 days. I had this dot on my T-shirt. A couple of days, nothing, and a couple of days more, and I went immediately. When my wife said she had seen it on the bed sheets, I knew something was wrong. I had something else that I think might have saved my life, and that is, in the 80s, I used to sell mammography equipment.
Oh, wow.
So I had somewhat knowledge of breast cancer and the signs of it.
And men especially.
And men especially. It's really a myth, this thing about 1%, one out of 100, and that's only because we don't have the numbers. Now, if you watch Good Morning America, when Robin said her brother had breast cancer, nobody knew it. And then sitting right next to her, Michael says, and my brother has breast cancer. Yeah. What's the odds and chances of that? Two people who work together every day not knowing their brothers had breast cancer.
Yeah, because the only person I ever knew, was Richard Roundtree that had breast cancer. And now, bam, 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 just like that.
And what's your family history?
That is a very, very good question, because it's the same for men and women. My grandmother's sister, as far back as we can go, died of breast cancer. My mother's sister, who would be my aunt, died of breast cancer. Her only two daughters died of breast cancer.
And the thing, this really blew my mind, and reading your story, and I said, we got to get you on as quickly as possible, because you are so strident in fighting this. You went and had the genetic testing as well, which indicated something else.
Well, that's really important for the listeners to know. We all have two genes in our bodies, BRCA1, BRCA2. Mm-hmm. BRCA2 is for men. And I went and had this test. It's a $250 simple blood test. And what it revealed is the symptom for me was breast cancer. But the real cause was genetic 2 mutation, which means that 4 areas for men: prostate, melanoma, breast cancer, pancreatic cancer. It means a higher risk. It doesn't mean you're going to get it. I want to make sure people understand. It doesn't not mean you're going to get cancer. It just says you're going to have a higher risk. So I had to go and get MRIs, biopsies. I had moles on my body that they biopsy. I still have to do a biopsy in November for prostate because on my father's side, my grandfather died of prostate. 3 of my father's brothers died of prostate. I have a first cousin right now with prostate cancer.
And you also had a mastectomy.
I did. I had on my right breast, and I will have a second one in January to reduce the risk again.
Woo.
And so obviously you removed the breast tissue and that, but did you have to go through any other treatment for this?
I did not. Again, I'm so grateful, and it goes back to early detection. I caught this so early. Imagine 2 dots on a piece of paper. That was the size 2 millimeters. That was the size of my cancer that was removed. And so I'm just extremely lucky. No radiation therapy is needed. I have an option for a pill that I take, and I'm going to take it next week. I just wanted to get through these interviews because I don't know if any side effects, but I will take that just for precautionary measures. Exercise become important, diet becoming important, reduction in alcohol consumption becomes important. So I'm doing all of those, as well as every 6 months I will be getting biannual checkups.
Do you ever think you become the face of breast cancer?
Well, certainly I never thought that. But again, in 20 years of diagnostic imaging, I knew there's a possibility. Because
I didn't know you did that. I thought you did
history,
IBM.
I was at the medical division of Xerox.
Oh, Xerox.
A question, Mr. Knowles. What should men be looking for if they don't know if they have a history? Is there like women should check for lumps? Is it the same with men?
Yes, it is. It's the same for men, but more importantly, family history. Family history, and more important, if you have prostate, then you should get this BRCA exam. A lot of us have high PSAs, so we should get that BRCA2 blood test. But more importantly, it's family history.
And so your children are now going to be on the lookout for these things, obviously, as well.
Yes, they are. I mean, everyone on my family tree. My sisters, my nieces, my 2 daughters, everyone has to take this exam, and then the precautionary measures if they have the mutation.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Mr. Matthew Knowles. Really appreciate it. It was really quite something to hear, first of all, that you were announcing it, and then what you have gone through and how you are so brave and coming out and sharing all this with us.
Well, thank you. That's part of one of the 4 principles of Omega: manhood, uplift, scholarship, perseverance. And so I'm using all 4 of those principles.